Good morning, everybody. It's a terrific Thursday, and we know this because we are in the Zoom for Yoga for Yogis. And we're so grateful to Mandy because she's going to be leading us in a wonderful class together. I want to appreciate and thank the Yonkers Public Library for being part of, the wellness and supporting the wellness and making sure that we have an opportunity to form this community. And I really do want to thank each and every one of the participants on today's Zoom for taking time out of their busy day and practicing together, because this has been an ongoing thing since March, and we've been doing Zoom since March, and it's a little challenging, but we are all together, and together is better. So I do want to acknowledge everyone's devotion, dedication to wellness, to themselves and to each other, because I feel like this is the way that we are going to remain strong, both mentally and physically. And now we're going to do our journey with Mandy. And if anybody needs any props, now is a good time. You can take straps, and if you don't have a strap, you can improvise with a belt or a scarf. You can grab a blanket. If you don't have a blanket, maybe another yoga mat or a sweatshirt rolled up or a towel rolled up. If you have pillows, that's great too. Blocks, well, being a library, we're going to say use books if you don't have any blocks. So on that note, I'm going to hand the Zoom over to Mandy, and we're going to start on our wonderful yogic journey.
All right. Well, so last time we were talking about the sciatic nerve pain. So I just wanted to add that very shortly, that this pain can come from many different reasons. So it can come if you have maybe a bulging disc in your lower back that hits the nerve, and then you have this pain that starts maybe in the lower back, goes through your butt, the back of your leg, all the way down to your foot. It could also be that it's maybe a case of stenosis, which makes the how do you say, the canal a little bit smaller, tighter. So the most reasons I would guess, or I would say, is that when you sit for a long time, your glutes, they get very weak but very tight at the same time. And I keep talking about this little muscle, the piriformis muscle, that gets tight and could give you some issue in your hip, right where your glutes are. So if you have stenosis, what might give you a little bit of a relief in the pain in your lower back or for that sciatic nerve pain could be very gentle forwards. If you have an issue with a bulging disc, then the back bends would be more up your way and would give you a relief in the lower back or in the sciatic nerve pain. So it's very hard. So you should find out what gives you a little bit of relief. I'm going to focus on what I think is the most common ones, and that I think is a tight and weak glute, and the bulging disc that maybe hit the nerve. So it's going to be a mixture of that. But saying that, as we always say, we can always modify. You can always take a break and just move gently and with attention to your body and try to figure out, where do I feel the best? Where do I feel good? And then that's where you're going to stay. So we're going to lie down on the back with our knees bent. And you can have, again, two options. You can have your knees resting on each other. You can have the legs parallel, and you can have your arms right beside the body. Whatever feels best. And then just start paying attention to your breath. Don't change anything, just observe. See where the breath is moving your body. Maybe it's more the chest, your shoulders. Maybe it's more down the belly area. And then we will focus on the exhale. You slowly start maybe restricting the back of the throat a little bit for some ocean breath, ujjayi breath. So what that does is it extends your exhale, which calms down the nervous system. At the same time, it helps to focus. Maybe now is a good time to close your eyes if you haven't done already. And you can also, if that is uncomfortable for you, lying down, focusing on the breath, extending the exhale, you can also do this sitting up. So feel free to sit up in easy pose and do the same thing sitting up. In through the nose, out through the nose. And then slowly bring your attention to the parts of your body that touch your mat. Your feet, your lower back, glutes, your sacrum, the rest of your spine, of your back, shoulder blades, elbows, maybe the back of the hands, the back of your head. And with your next extended exhale, maybe using the ujjayi breath, try to let go a little. Try to let the tension melt down into the mat, into the floor. Let the arms, the legs, the head become a little heavier. Then keep your eyes closed and slowly start rocking your head from side to side, very slowly, and a small movement first, and then you can let that become a little bit bigger. You can also keep it in the same range of motion just to get a very gentle movement in your cervical spine. And then just stay on one side. If your head is to the left or to the right, stay there. Just breathe for a moment. Keep the eyes closed. Try to relax the opposite shoulder. Try to relax the jaw. Breathe. And then slowly move the hand all the way over to the other side. Very gently, without force. Don't try to get a bigger range of motion. Breathe. And then slowly bring the head back into the middle. And slowly open your eyes. And then slowly lift one arm all the way up towards the ceiling, and then lift the other arm up, palms facing each other. And then just lift your right shoulder off the floor. Try to tip with your fingertips the ceiling, and then plug the shoulder back down into the floor. Same thing with the left. Lift the left shoulder, lift, and slowly come back down. And then bring your arms back down to the floor, palms facing down. And then walk your feet back towards parallel. Knees and your feet have the same distance. Then take a deep breath in, and as you exhale out, you extend your tailbone and you engage your abs, flatten the lower back down into the mat. See how that feels. And then slowly relax back down. Relax that tailbone and feel how that lower back is lifting up a little bit again. There's some space that you create between the floor and your lower back. And then again, take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Tighten up your abs as you do that. Lengthen the tailbone towards your heels and start lifting up that tailbone just a little, and then start lifting up a little bit more. See how it feels and stop wherever you feel, okay, this is enough. I can feel it's uncomfortable, it's painful. And then feel how those glute muscles are holding you up. Press your arms down, long neck, and slowly roll back down. Take your time. And relax and feel how that natural curve in your lower back occurs again when you relax. Take a deep breath in, maybe arch that lower back a little bit more. And then as you exhale out, press your feet down, press your arms down, shoulders, and start lifting up. Tailbone, lower back, middle back, and maybe a little bit higher. Feel those glutes working right now. Then watch or feel where your knees are. Are they coming out? Are they flaring out? Or are you able to keep them parallel without any issue? And if there is an issue, how does it feel if you let go a little bit of that control and have the knees flare out just a little bit? Does that feel better in your lower back? Slowly start rolling down, bone by bone by bone. Always with control. The next one, we bring the heels. Sometimes my feet slide away, so I need to realign and readjust. So bring those heels a little closer to you if that happened to you as well. Press your arms down. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out. Feel that lower back flattening down and start rolling up into your bridge pose. The first back bend and glute strengthening pose, and slowly roll back down, bone by bone by bone. All right, then again, bring your knees towards each other. Bring your feet out as wide as your mat, and maybe open up the arms a little bit to the side so you are nice and stable. And then start moving your knees to the left and the right. We did this the last time, so maybe you remember if that gave you any issue. If that gave you any issue, just stay and rest the knees. Put your hands onto the belly and focus on the breathing again. If you're okay with this, keep moving your knees, both knees into the same direction, and get a little bit of a twist in that lower back. One more Ujjayi breath. And then find your knees back in the middle. Bring the arms back down right beside each other, parallel your feet and your knees. and bring your right foot on top of the left knee. Push the right knee out. This is reclined pigeon. So bring your left leg in, interlace your fingers behind your left thigh, and then maybe push that left knee into the right foot, into the right ankle. That should be a beautiful stretch in that right hip, in that right glute muscle. Breathe. Ujjayi breath. And slowly lower back down. And we switch to the other side. Left leg onto the right knee. And sometimes this is enough. So if you feel like, oh yeah, I don't need to lift that right knee, then stay right here. If you feel like, yes, that felt good on the other side, maybe it feels even better on the other side, and do that. Lift up your right leg, and then bring that right knee into that left ankle. And you can also push the left knee out a little bit. Relax the back of the neck, the jaw, and the forehead. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out, Ujjayi breath. Slowly lower back down. So we're going to do two more things in this bridge pose for those glutes. And you decide, how intense you want this to be. So bring the arms right beside your body. And then again, take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out, engage your abs, and come with me in your bridge pose. So it might be here, and it might be all the way here. So what you can do is you can here hold that bridge pose with me. Beautiful strengthening of the glutes. You can also, if you want, bring your weight over into the left foot, and maybe you can lift your right here, and you can maybe lift your right knee. Bring the knee towards the chest, and then slowly lower it back down. Lift both hips back up. Press your arms down, and with control, slowly roll back down. So if this was a little too much, you can just stay in bridge pose and hold here and breathe. All right, arms back down. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose with Ujjayi breath, and tighten up those abs. Lengthen the tailbone. Start lifting up into your bridge pose. And then stay here if you feel like, yes, this is good. I don't want to lift up my left knee. If you want to go for it, bring the weight into the right foot and lift your left heel. That might be enough as well. And you can also lift your knee just a little. And you can also bring the knee all the way up. Be in control of those hips. Slowly bring the left down. Lift the hips a little. And then start rolling down from the middle back, through the lower back, all the way to the tailbone. Shake those legs out a little bit. And one more time. So we can straighten that knee and have the foot, the leg all the way up there. If you felt like you were close to a cramp in your upper legs, then skip that one. Just maybe hold here, right? You can also lift the leg up the way we did it with the knee bend. It's up to you. Press your arms down, long neck. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out, tighten up those abs, keep them tight. They protect your lower back if you keep them tight. And then bring the weight into your left foot. Lift your right heel. And then lift your right knee, and then stretch the leg all the way up. And bend your right knee, bring the foot down, lift the hip up a little bit, and roll down bone by bone. And relax. I hope you chose what is good for you. Bring the arms right beside. Maybe adjust your feet again. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. And again, take a deep breath in. As you exhale out, extend or tighten up those abs and lift your hips all the way up into bridge pose. Bring the weight into your right foot. Lift your left here. Press your arms and the right foot down. Engage the abs. Lift your left knee. If you want, lift your legs. Straighten it. And slowly bend. Bring your foot back down. Lift the hips one more time. Slowly start rolling down. Okay, shake those legs out. And then bring your right knee into the chest. Stretch your left leg out. Flex both feet. Again, you can keep the left knee bent if that feels better. Stretch it out if you like. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale out, bring the nose towards your right knee. Slowly lower down. And then bring your right foot down. Bend your left knee. Stretch the right leg out or keep it bent, up to you. And flex both feet. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale out, bring your nose towards your left knee. Slowly lower back down. So what happens sometimes with those glutes, we have a combination of a couple of things. We have tight and weak glutes and also very tight hip flexors from sitting too long, right? So that's a good combination to stretch these guys out, the hip flexors, and strengthen the glutes. Okay, so now we come onto the side and we come up into a seated position. All right, let's see. So you can grab your blanket and sit on the blanket. That is actually, it's really, really good. So take your time, take that blanket, go and get that blanket and join us when you're sitting on the blanket, okay? And then just see which leg is in the front. And then take that leg and maybe hold it with your one hand and then maybe wrap the other arm around. You can bring it also up towards your elbow if you want. And just rock that baby. Just give a little bit of range of motion here. And if you think like, no, this is not my thing, just relax down. Switch to the other side and you just stay here. Switch to the other side, rock the other baby. Yes, just opening up that hip joint. Okay. And then it doesn't matter which way you cross because we switch anyway. So take those fleshy parts of the sit bones and then walk forward and put your hands right in front of you. So this might feel, you might feel a good stretch here already. And then you can stay exactly here, maybe close your eyes, come back to the Ujjayi breath. You can also walk your hands very gently and slowly forward. Take your time with this so you know when you feel that stretch, and maybe, as I said before, sometimes the forward fold is not so nice for the lower back, for some of us. If that is you, stay up here. And if you want, you can also relax the elbows down and relax the head down. Nice option to open up the muscle chain in the back of the neck all the way through, beside the spine, that long muscle. It goes all the way down towards the lower back. Breathe here. And then slowly first lift your head and slowly walk back. Bring your hands behind you Open up the chest, lift your gaze towards the ceiling. Squeeze the shoulder blades a little bit together. And then come back into a neutral spine. Bring your hands back forward and switch the crossing of the legs. So the other leg goes in front. Same thing on this side. So you can stay here. Take those fleshy bits off again. Put the hands right in front of you. Again, if you feel fantastic here and you feel this nice stretch and everything is okay with your lower back, there's no pain, stay here. You can also walk with me a little forward and you can relax the elbows and the head down. And again, work with your breath. If you feel like you can breathe easily without any restrictions, that's the way to go. If you feel like you can't breathe in fully, then come back out of that pose a little bit. Slowly lift your head. Take your time with this and slowly walk your hands back. Okay. So then we come forward into table. This is now a good time if your knees are maybe a little sensitive to put that blanket underneath. And again, bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Open up the fingers wide so that the weight is not only on the wrist, on the joint here, but you spread it out through all the fingers, right? If you are overextending like me, micro bend those elbows a little. If your ears are up or if your shoulders are up by your ears, push them away, long neck. Also, if the head is maybe dangling down, lift your head, proud chest. Look back. If you see your feet, make them disappear. Cat, cow, right? And see how your spine, how your lower back feels with this. So now take a deep breath in and then exhale out. Engage your abs. Let the movement come from the core. Push the floor away with your hands and your knees. The head goes in between your arms and your core is lifting up towards the sky. And then do the opposite. As you inhale, drop the belly towards the ground. Lift your head towards the sky. Create space. Inhale. And then do a couple of those in your own time. Follow your breath. And sometimes it's exactly the opposite. I did that so many times. I exhale instead of inhaling. Don't worry about it. Just keep going. After a while, it gets natural, becomes natural. The spine is getting moved in every direction. Last one. And slowly find a neutral spine, which is always a good thing to find, that neutral spine, especially if we sit a lot. So now here, we will maybe come a little bit forward so that when you stretch out your right leg, your toes are still touching the mat. So you have a little bit of hold on, right? So when you do that, stretch the heel. So you push the heel away at the same time. Keep the abs in, keep your head up. Look down, still long neck. And then bend the knee, lower it back down. Same thing with the left, lift it up. Tuck the toes under, push the heels away. Should feel really nice in the back of your lower leg. Gastrocnemius, Achilles. Lower it back down. Other side, same thing again on the right side. Push the heel away from you. And then move the weight of your body back towards your hands and knee. And then lift that right leg up. Flex your foot, push the heel away, create a longer leg. And then lift your left arm all the way up. Make yourself really long. So what happens to me now? I arch my lower back and I drop my belly down, right? Let's lift the core, lift off the floor and hold this. Then lower your left arm back down and see if you can bend your right knee. Keep the abs in and up, push the floor away, hold here. Just breathe a little and then slowly lower the knee back down. And then open up your knees a little and rest for a moment in child pose. You can also circle the hands a little bit to give those wrists a little bit of a break. Go both ways. Or you can just relax the head down. Slowly come back into table. Again, adjust your hands, hands right underneath your shoulders. Open up your fingers and remember those magic fingers. Grab the floor. Grab the floor. Now stretch out your left leg. Tuck the toes under and push the heel away. Engage your abs. Lift your left leg off the floor. Same height as your whole body, your hips and your shoulders. Now work on those core muscles. Engage. At the same time, lift the right arm. Make yourself much, much longer in both directions. Breathe. Ujjayi breath. Focus on what you're doing right now. And then lower that right hand back down. Now, bend your knee. Keep the foot flexed. Right? So maybe lift that knee just a tiny little micro inch. I don't know if that is something very, very small. Hold here and feel the glute working. Engage your abs. And slowly, with control, we lower back down. Open up the knees and lean back into child pose. Take the weight of the hands, maybe move the fingers a little bit. And breathe. Come back up into table. Parallel those legs. And now slowly slide, bring the weight into the left leg. Slide your right foot all the way in the middle, in between your hands. Low lunge. So if you have your books handy, if you have your blocks close by, maybe have them close by so you can grab them. And then we move forward, low lunge. Maybe we use the blocks and you want to stay here. Again, you push down into the floor with your whole foot, with the knee, the shin, and your back of the foot from the other leg. You scissor up a little bit, so it's not just pulling down, but at the same time you open up the hip flexor. And if you like, you can stay here. You can also push into your right knee, and you can lift up your arms. Drop your shoulders down, energize your fingertips, and maybe move the pinky fingers towards each other. Spread your arms, your fingers wide. Breathe. Slowly lower back down. Put the blocks a little to the side. Put your hands onto the floor. Slide that right foot right back and bring that left. It doesn't matter how, right? Bring that left foot forward. And then find your low lunge. So what we make sure is that the knee, you heard me say that a million times, does not go over your ankle, right? So we have not too much pressure here on the knee. And then sometimes we move a little bit towards the right, try to stay straight forward, right? So both hips are looking forward. And then you can use your blocks. Find length in that spine. Again, press the foot down and the lower part of the right leg. Engage your abs. Maybe put the hand onto the left knee. Push that knee away and find some length here. You can lift both arms. You don't have to. If you do, spread your fingers out wide. Move those pinky fingers towards each other. Drop your shoulders down. Breathe. Lower your hands back down and bring the blocks back to the side, slide that left leg back, tuck your toes under, lift into downward facing dog. Pedal your legs. Breathe. Ujjayi breath, upside down. Look towards your knees. See how that feels. Engage those abs. Bend those elbows just a little. Spread your fingers wide. So there's a couple of different ways how we get into high lunge. So you can come back down onto the knees and then lift up the back knee or stay in low lunge. You can also come into a plank and then bring your right foot forward. If this is a little too much, lower that left knee down. No need. And then we can bring the blocks right beside, and you can stay here in a low lunge and do exactly what we just did. All right. You can also lift that back knee and then put the hands onto the right knee, and you can lift up into a high lunge. Please stay in a low lunge. If this is a little, sometimes the knee, it's a lot of pressure to come from that from that downward dog into a high lunge. And breathe here. Fingertips energized. And then feel how that opens and how the other one is working like crazy. Slowly lower the arms back down. Lower the knee back down. And put the blocks to the side, hands down onto the floor, slide your leg back, tuck the toes under, meet me in downward facing dog. Walk those legs. And now the other side. So you can bring your left foot. You can come into plank and then bring your left foot in between your hands. With your right knee up, you can also lower the right knee down. See what feels good to you. And then use your blocks. Have your knee up or down, your choice. And then put your hands onto the knee. Push the knee away. And lift maybe one arm, maybe two arms. Maybe you don't want to lift your arms. Totally fine as well. Maybe halfway through you decide this is enough. I want to put my knee down. Go for that. Breathe here. Feel the muscles working. Push down into the floor and lift up at the same time. Now lower your hands back down. Lower the knee back down. Put the blocks to the side. Slide your left leg back. How much time do we have? Good. All right, now tuck the toes back under, back into downward facing dog. Breathe here. I'm putting my blanket to the side and then lower down onto the knees. And from the knees, we come onto the belly. Okay, so your choice again. We can open up the legs as wide as the mat. See how that feels when we come into Cobra. You can have the legs a little closer together. Totally up to you. But it might influence your lower back. It might feel easier. Okay. So now slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your elbows in towards the side of your body. And as you inhale, lift up into Cobra. And Ujjayi breath through the nose. Look down towards the front line of your mat. Slowly lower back down, bone by bone. Wiggle those hips. And again, with your next inhale, and not pushing into the floor, let it come from the back. Lift back up into Cobra. Slowly lower back down. Maybe rest your head on the other side. Then bring both hands right beside your body and slowly lift up upper body and your arms. If you want, add your legs. Lift up both legs and breathe. If you feel like this is making my lower back worse, lower the legs down back onto the floor. Ujjayi breath. Lift your legs and your arms a little higher. Hold here and breathe. Everything's working in the back. Slowly lower back down. Make a pillow with your hands. Rest your forehead. Bend your knees. Windshield wipers left and right. Stretch the legs back out. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Lift back up into table. Lean back into downward facing dog. Into child pose and then come into downward facing dog. So come back into table. Tuck your toes under and now lift into, if you're not already there, into downward facing dog. See how the left feels versus the right or the other way around. Maybe feels the same. And now slowly walk your feet towards your hands. And the forward fold might be not so nice for you, as I said before, if there's a stenosis going on. Shake the head, yes. Shake the head, no. And if you feel that way, slowly move out of it. Take your time. If you're okay here, inhale halfway up. Hands right underneath your knees. Head lifted, straight spine, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, forward, forward. Bend your knees a little more. And tighten up your abs as you inhale halfway up. Exhale, forward. And then we lift all the way up. Roll all the way up. Take your time. Roll the shoulders back. And then find mountain pose. Lift your toes. And then spread them out wide. Fingers spread out wide as well. Drop your shoulders down. Lengthen the spine all the way up. From the heels, through the legs, the hips, the spine, the shoulders, the neck. And breathe. Now lift your arms all the way up, palms facing each other. Drop your shoulders down. Come into chair pose. Look down and see if you can see your toes. Now bring your hands in front of your chest, Anjali Mudra. Bring the weight into your left leg and slide your right leg out into a high lunge. Much easier way to get there, right? Okay, stay here. If you feel like, yeah, that's enough. You can also bring your arms up again. Drop your shoulders down. Push the floor away. Make sure the knee does not go over your ankle. And then slowly bring your back heel down and come into warrior two. Adjust the front foot. See if you have to move maybe a little bit towards the middle. Arms long. Feel that leg working. Ujjayi breath. Scissor your legs up. Lift your arms all the way up, straighten the front knee and bend the knee again. Open up the arms. Slowly bring your hands back onto your hips. Straighten the front knee, parallel, and then heel toe your way back together. come to the front of the mat. Other side. So lift your toes, spread them out wide, lift your arms, drop your shoulders down. Come into chair pose. Energize your arms, your shoulders, your abs. Tighten up the abs, lengthen the tailbone down. Breathe. Bring the hands in front of your chest. Bring the weight into your right foot, into the right leg. Slide the left all the way back. High lunge. You can lift your arms. You don't have to. You can stay in Anjali Mudra. That's okay. Stay there. See how it feels when you tighten up those abs, when the belly button goes in and up. How does it feel in my hip? And then bring your back heel back down. Come into warrior two. Adjust your feet. Right? They don't have to be in two lines. Or they can be in two lines. They don't have to be in one line. Again, engage your abs. Bend that knee. I keep telling that, but I really like that. So one of my teachers said you should be able to have a cup of tea standing on your front thigh. And then lift your arms, straighten the knee, drop that cup of tea. And one more time, bend that knee, open up the arms. Reach forward and backward at the same time. Scissor those legs up. Not just sinking down, it's also lifting up. Lift your arms, straighten the front knee, bring your hands back onto the hips, parallel the feet, heel toe your way back together. Come to the front of the mat. Breathe. Lift your arms all the way up and slowly fold forward. Put your hands down onto the floor, walk back into downward facing dog. Lift your hips up high. Slowly come onto the tippy toes, lower your knees back down. Okay, so now we take a moment for that pigeon pose, right? Pigeon pose is perfect for stretching out the glutes and give you a little bit of space or maybe even relief. So there is, again, many options. So we did the reclining pigeon pose. If this is something that felt good to you, you had no issues with, and you might feel this is a little too intense, then go for that. You can also use your props. So if you have that pillow, you can easily put that underneath one side of your bottom. So I show you that option first. So you can come in here from downward dog. I show you from table. So we're going to slide, I'll show you on the other side, the left knee all the way towards the left wrist. So you don't have to bring your shin parallel to the front. That's not necessary, right? Do what feels good. So as you can see, mine is like up in the air. So I could use my books or my fold up blanket to have a little bit of support. I feel like my block might be perfect, right? And then I look back and I adjust my back leg so it's straight back and it's not collapsing to the inside or the outside. And I could stay here very easily. I could also come onto my elbows and I could, of course, come all the way down, make a pillow with my hands and rest my head on my hands. So if this is where you are right now and you want to stay there, please stay there. If you feel like, no, this is not my thing, show me something different, here it is. You bring your left knee on top of the right knee, open up the chest, bring the right foot towards you. I actually saw somebody yesterday doing that against a wall. He had the foot against the wall. It looked pretty good. So if you wanted to go for that, try that. That's another option. All right, so if you are on the back or sitting, stay here and breathe into that stretch. So this is a stretch or a pose that you should really spend at least 30 seconds, which you probably have already because I'm talking so much. Okay. And again, work with your breath. With every exhale, try to ease into the pose a little bit more. And if you feel like it's not possible to let go or to ease into the pose, it is painful, come out of the pose, remodify, come and change it into, you're still doing a really good pigeon pose if you're doing the seated or the reclined version. One more breath. And then slowly come back out. So if you have that block underneath, take the block out and then tuck the back toe under, lift that back knee, slide your knee back. So then we switch to the other side. Bring your right knee behind your right wrist and then wiggle that left leg back. If you feel like that block is a good option, bring it over to the other side and then find your position. And again, if you have another block and maybe you feel like resting the forehead on the other block, great option. And maybe this side feels different, maybe this knee does not like it. So then switch to the other two possibilities, lying down or seated. And breathe here. Relax the shoulders, the jaw. And when you feel it's the equal time, you spend the same amount of time on both hips, then slowly lift back out of your pigeon pose, and then lift the back knee and slide your knee back, and then come into on your back, lying on your back. Take your time, bring your blankets, and twist first. I'm going over time again, I know, I'm sorry. Okay, so have both knees bent. So again, a couple of options. If you really like that, moving the knees from side to side, that's a small and easy twisting of the lower back, taking the tension out. If you feel like, yeah, but I want a little more, then you can stretch out your left leg. And then push down into the right foot, lift your hip and slide it over to the right. Bring your right knee in and then roll over to your left. And then props are just beautiful. You can put the blanket underneath that upper knee or the books or your block. And then see if you can find that ujjayi breath again and letting go, easing down into the floor. Relaxing the shoulders, the foreheads, the jaw. And breathe. Ujjayi breath. If you feel like maybe it's a bit too much, bend both knees to the side. I forgot to say that. That's a good option too. Slowly bring that right knee towards the chest and roll onto your back. Bring both feet down and come back into the middle with your hips. Same thing on the other side. So do what felt good on that side and do the same thing. So we can lift the hips over to the left, stretch the right knee or the right leg out, bring the left in and roll over to the other side. Just adjust a little bit. So I have to wiggle and lift my hip a little. And again, use your props. Breathe here. Just observe the body and see where you feel tension. I just moved my neck and I realized that it was a bit tense. I was lifting my chin up to lengthen the back of the neck. Slowly bring your left knee back to the middle. Adjust your hips. And then just do some last movements. So sometimes we want to do knees into the chest and rock gently from side to side. Sometimes you want to come into happy baby pose, which is such a nice pose for me. Maybe you don't like it. See what feels good. So if you're in happy baby pose, hold on to the outside of your feet. You can press your elbows very gently into the side of your shins. See how that lower back is doing exactly the opposite, right? It's moving down towards the floor. And then slowly bring the feet back down. So we're getting ready for Shabasana. So any option you want to do is fine. You can put your legs onto the chair, which is awesome. You can also bring the knees together and the feet as wide as your mat. And then I want to show you something that I sometimes do with the kids. And I thought you might like that too. So it's something that we do with the arms. So you lift your arms, your hands, and then you you cross the forearms, and then you turn your palms towards each other and interlace your fingers. So your thumbs are looking away from the body, and then you bend your elbows so that the hands are towards your face, and then you rest in here. So what it does is it gives you a little bit of support. You support each other, and you can maybe let go in your shoulders. So sometimes that feels very good. If you think if you did that and you think, I don't know what she's talking about, it does not feel relaxing whatsoever, please untwist your arms. You can also bring your blanket and use it as a weight onto your solar plexus and the lower chakras, grounding you down a little. And you can also stretch the legs out. Perfect. Let the legs turn out and come into your Shavasana, your choice. And then slowly bring your attention to your breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. And just observe how your breath is maybe becoming a little more shallow. Maybe close your eyes. You can also keep them open. And just stay there, and I will talk you through. So start relaxing your toes. And your ankles. Relax the calf muscles, the back of the knees, the top of the knees. Relax your hamstrings, thigh muscles. Relax those glutes, hips. And with your next exhale, allow your legs to release, to become heavy. Soften your belly. Imagine the inner organs spreading out, having space. Soften your chest, ribs, shoulders. Relax your elbows, wrists, all 10 fingers. With your next exhale, allow your arms to become heavy. Release. Relax the back of your neck, the back of your head, the top of your head, your forehead, temples, cheeks. Unhinge the jaw. Relax the tongue in your mouth. Soften your lips, your eyes, and the space between your eyebrows. Now slowly, without changing anything, bring your attention to the sounds outside. To the sounds inside. And then slowly bring your attention to your body. Deepen your breath. And then start wiggling your fingers and your toes. And slowly stretch your legs, stretch your arms. Slow motion, easy motions. And slowly bend one knee. Slide it up slowly. And then bend the other knee. And when you're ready, roll onto your right side. Make a pillow with your arm and just rest for another moment. And when you're ready, in your own time, slowly use your hands to push you up into a seated position. And then bring your hands in front of your chest. And lower the chin towards the chest. And thank yourself for coming here. I thank you for coming. Namaste.
Namaste, Mandy. Thank you so much again for a lovely yoga session this morning. We really appreciate your time, your talent, and your energy. We thank Yonkers Public Library, and we thank everybody who's on the call practicing with us this morning.